Mm. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Leonie. Hi, Darlene. I am running late today. I actually ran the blow dryer through my hair trying to catch some of it. Good morning, Andrea. So I was running late, but I hope everyone has had a good morning so far. Whether you are getting the day started or you're maybe crawling out of bed or maybe even still in bed watching this from bed, that is totally fine. I hope you all are doing great. We are going to get started here in just a second. With a psalm. Doing good, good, and great. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's what I like to hear. For anybody who does not know, if you're joining us for the first time, I'm going to read a psalm from this volume called Psalms of the Bible, published by Holman. If you are interested, it is linked at my favorites page. We read from here every Monday morning that we have a Monday morning show. And today our psalm is Psalm 61. I'm going to read Psalm 61. Trying to get my water in. I'm very dehydrated. Got frizzies. All right. Psalm 61, Security in God. This is for the choir director on stringed instruments, and it's a psalm of David. You're watching in bed. You woke up at 6, which is 15 minutes ago. Yep. All right. It says, God, hear my cry. Pay attention to my prayer. I call to you from the ends of the earth. Actually, we read this one already. We read 61 last week. Let me move on to 62. This one, the title is Trust in God Alone, for the choir director, according to Jeduthun. I'm probably not pronouncing that very well. And it is a psalm of David. Verse 1, I am at rest in God alone. My salvation comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will never be shaken. How long will you threaten a man? Will all of you attack as if he were a leaning wall or a tottering fence? They only plan to bring him down. From his high position, they take pleasure in lying. They bless with their mouths, but they curse inwardly. Selah. Rest in God alone, my soul, for my hope comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will not be shaken. My salvation and glory depend on God, my strong rock. My refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts before him. God is our refuge. Selah. Common people are only a vapor. Important people, an illusion. Together on a scale, they weigh less than a vapor. Place no trust in oppression or false hope in robbery. If wealth increases, don't set your heart on it. God has spoken once. I have heard this twice. Strength belongs to God, and faithful love belongs to you, Lord. For you repay each according to his works. That was good. It actually reminded me a little bit of Ecclesiastes, talking about common people are only a vapor, important people an illusion. Together on a scale, they weigh less than a vapor. That is very much um, thematically in the style of something that you'd find in Ecclesiastes. Um, I love the line. I love the first line. I am at rest in God alone. That's beautiful. I am at rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. And the reason why I love that is because there's just so much to cause unrest. And for the last, at least personally, for the last several weeks, but particularly like the last few weeks, I've been feeling not anxious, like truly anxious. Like I don't have any like physical, you know, what do you call it? Effects of anxiety, like side effects of anxiety, but just like mentally overwhelmed, you know? And that line, when I first read that line, there was something in my body that just kind of went, that's what I need. That's what I need. You said verse 7 is your psalm for the week. My salvation, that was my next favorite. My salvation and glory depend on God, my strong rock. My refuge is in God. Beautiful verse. Beautiful, beautiful verse. Unrest seems to be pursuing you on the extra lately. I seriously, right? Whew. Thank God for the Psalms. Okay, so I have taken a sticky note and I have placed it on the correct Psalm for next week, so I don't get it wrong. And we're going to move on to our icebreaker question. Pop that back in there. Let's do. Excuse me. I'm going to do this box, the icebreaker starter pack. Again, if you are not aware, it is linked to my favorites page. This is a fun one. If you could have any fictional character as your friend, who would you choose and why? If you could have any fictional character as your friend, who would you choose and why? Oh man. It's a toss up. Okay. Okay, normally when I think about these kinds of things, these kinds of prompts are always going to take me to like a fictional character from a book. But this could be a movie, it could be a TV show. Good morning, Alma. It's a toss up. When I was a teenager, my favorite books were well, two of my favorite books were Anne of Green Gables and Little Women. So it would be there you go, a girl after my own heart. Anne comes to mind right away. See? Okay. It is October after all, and I am so thankful we live in a world with Octobers. It would be a toss-up between Anne Shirley and Jo March. Could I be friends with both of them? Anne just because it's Anne of Green Gables. Jo because I wanted to be like Jo when I was a teenager. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to have an attic to write in. I loved that whole aesthetic. So it's a toss up between those two. If I'm going with like 17-year-old Alyssa, and I'm okay with that. Not even 17, like 13-year-old, 14-year-old Alyssa. Yeah, I think we're gonna stick with that. Those are my mainstay favorite characters, fictional characters. If I could be friends with either, I think I would. Yeah. So what about you guys? Fictional character, if you could be friends with any one of your favorite fictional characters, who would it be and why? I feel like I would want to be friends with Laurie too, and Gilbert, and Diana. What a group! That's like the crossover between the Flintstones and the Jetsons. Anyway, in my brain, it works, even though they're from two completely different worlds and eras. Okay, y'all can put your answers in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, you can put them in the comments. I'm sorry, I'm clearing my throat. This is morning. You guys know. You're just like getting the morning stuff figured out. The morning gunk. I actually did my planning last night, before I went to bed. I got my page all set up, my planning spread all set up. Um, we did meal prep. We did our groceries and our meal prep this weekend. I'm very excited for that. Um, I got my top 3 figured out. So, all right. So this is, let's see. Good question, Andrea. Cindy, what's your knee-jerk reaction? Who came to mind first? Who came to mind first? There's another character in a book that I would like to be friends with. Do I have the book on my shelf? This might actually be a recommendation. Oh, I might recommend, maybe I should recommend some favorites. I'm winning. What do you mean? Oh, I'm winning, meaning like I got stuff done? Yes, if that's what you mean, I am, absolutely. See how fast my train of thought just went, whew! Bye-bye. Marty Claridge from the Love Comes Softly series. Ooh, that's a good one. I'd want to be friends with her too. That's a good one. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Okay. So, so for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that my books didn't used to be in this room. I don't know if you remember this. They used to be in another room. And they were laid out a little bit different. I was growing out of that room, number one. I needed more bookcases. Short version of the story. We moved all my bookcases, except a couple, this is our living room. And it was supposed to be my office. That didn't work out. Kept the bookcases here, moved my office stuff back into the original office, which is our dining room. I'm getting to a point. And my husband, while all this was happening, my husband had gotten a 3D printer. It was his Christmas present, and we needed to figure out where to put it, and we put it in my original office. So now it's October, and we've moved some things around a couple of times, and I'm like, this is not working. I have too much to go back to my original office setup. What we have going on in our bedroom and our living room it's just not. So yesterday I was telling my husband, what if I move this here and I move this here? I wonder if this would work. I need to figure this out before the year ends. Otherwise, I'm going to start 2026 right where I started 2025, and I don't want that to happen. So I say all that to say I'm going to be moving furniture this week, because I think I have figured out what needs to be done. I cleared it with Steven. He was like, "Yeah, go ahead." He doesn't work here during the day, right? He just needs a place for his stuff when he comes home, but he doesn't work here during the day. Therefore, it really is my prerogative, since I'm the one who is here all the time. So, anyway, one of my top 3 is to move desks. Then I have some stuff I have to film, and then I have some other stuff I have to film. Some things hopefully for social media, and then some things for YouTube. So, those are at the top of my list. And then I have another project, like a sub project, that is going to be further down on my list, not my top 3, but further on my list. And it has to do with this notebook here that I'm not going to show you, but it's coming soon. All right, let's see. You did your planners last night as well. Nice. And it's a good thing because you woke up late. So did I. So did I. Let's see. Oh, that would be so much fun to have tea with all of our favorite fictional characters. Leonie, you would pick Tinkerbell because you always wanted to stay a child and never grow up. Oh, that's so sweet. I am teasing you all. I am teasing you all because I have to keep you interested so you all come back. All right. Cindy Kay is going to be working on her website, content planning for all areas, and design digital items. Oh, I'm so glad you said that because. Okay. All right. I'm glad you said that because Reminded me of something. Okay, what do you all have on the docket? This is a notebook I got from Amazon. It's an A4. I will tell you this. Okay, so it's an A4. And does anybody want the link? Because I can find it. It's an A4 size. I really like it. It's a dot grid and the pages are numbered. So it makes for great bullet journaling. A4 notebook. I'll just put A4. Oh no. I think it's A4. Journal? I'm searching my orders. Here we go. Sorry, it's not A4. I lied. It's a B5. It's a B5. And let me get you the link in case you're interested. Okay. So B5 journal. I labored long and hard over this because it is hi Janet. Because it's for something special that I'm working on. Okay. So it's dot grid and the pages are numbered. The page quality is really nice. I like it. It has a back pocket. Okay, so it has back pocket. I have something behind here. I'm not going to go into details. And it has a pen loop. Is it smaller than letter size? Yes. So this is, hold on, sorry. I wasn't planning on doing a demonstration, so I'm all thumbs. Here we go. This is the size. Letter size versus B5. A4 was going to be a little too big. And I'm remembering my thought process here. A4 was going to be a little too big. B5 was going to be too small. So a B5 was going to be too small. So I went with B4. So it's just big enough, but it's not too big. And I can put it in my bag. And it works really well. So this is going to be, I'll be showing it on YouTube at some point soon. I just have to, there's some things I have to finish with the setup. And then I'll share with you my little process that I've got going on. Okay. Will I get it all done this week? That's the hope. That is the hope. Okay. So that's what I have on my list. What do you all have on your list? I have some bill things I need to take care of. It's the 6th. Yes. Oh, yes. There's another one. There's always another one, huh? I have some that just aren't on auto pay. So I need to make sure I keep on track of them. Keep on top of them, I should say. Okay. Those are what are on my list. That's what's on my list. Grammar today. Struggling. All right. Usually I don't get through that quickly, but because I prepped, I did. You really wish Stalogy notebooks were on sale right now? I know. That's another reason. Okay, so I went with this when it was only $15. At least right now it's only $15. I don't remember if that's what I actually paid. I love Stalogy. I love the paper quality, but they're just a little expensive. And when I'm starting a project or when I'm trying something new for the first time, I don't want to go expensive. I want something that's a little bit more cost effective, just in case it doesn't work. Because how many times have I started something and it didn't work and I spent, over $20 on a notebook? So sorry, I'm playing with my hair. My hair has gotten to the point where the cut is starting to grow out and I don't love the way it's growing out. So I'm constantly messing with it. Okay. I tried straightening it the other day, last week, and I was like, whoa, this cut was not meant for straightening. Can't do this. Always curly, always curly. Okay, let's talk books, you guys. Thank you very much. I have one to recommend. I don't know if I've recommended it before, but call out what you would like to see, whether a color, a genre, whatever. We'll see if I can find it. I also did go to the bookstore the other day, last week. So I have a couple new ones. So let me know what you want to see. Thank you, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. But I do have one that I will recommend. I think. If it is on my shelf, I know I lent it to somebody, and now I don't know if I have it on hand at the moment. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, say I have it. I also could just be forgetting what color the spine is. That is highly possible. Did I lend it to somebody and forget? That is totally possible. Shoot. All right. Well, I don't think it's on my shelves at the moment. Well, darn. Okay. Well, we're not doing that. Apparently not. Okay. Light rom-com. Let's see. A recent purchase. Okay, we'll do a recent purchase. Alma, you have the same 3 as you did last week. That is totally fine. You know how many times I have to what do you call it? Pull things forward? Not a problem at all. Let's see, update planners and journals. I did update my planner. I did not update my power sheets, so I still have that on the docket from last week. Okay, so light rom-com, recent purchase. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Recent purchase and light rom-com. Let's see. Light rom-com. Man, I think any of these are light rom-coms. None of those. We may have done this, but I don't remember. Ooh, oh, maybe we have done this. Oh man, okay. Okay. You enjoyed resetting your power sheets this quarter because, let's see, you accomplished some things and was able to switch it up a bit. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see if I can pull something off of my spiritual growth or my spiritual growth shells. I think my stomach is about to make noise because I'm hungry. There you are, make you shine like the sun. Okay. Whoop. All right, here we go. Let me not fall off my stool. Okay, so light rom-com. I have a few fiction. You forgot last week to prioritize a deadline this week for a devotional entry that's due on the 8th. You have a couple of days. You're writing a devotional? Is that what you're doing, Alma? You have a couple of days. And is it due at a certain time on the 8th, like in the morning? Or are we talking like by 11:59 at night? In that case, you've got 3 days. Okay. I pulled something off of my like theology, spiritual growth shelf. Back when we were studying Romans, I this is either when we were studying Romans in Club 119 or when I was teaching it to our Bible study group at church. I bought this. This is N.T. Wright's Into the Heart of Romans. This is a really good book. It's not about the entire book. It's about Romans chapter 8, which is like the most pivotal chapter of the book. So I don't remember if I recommended this here, but I just remember really enjoying it. So N.T. Wright is widely regarded as one of the most influential commentators and interpreters of Paul alive today, and Paul's letter to the Romans is often thought of as the gospel in condensed form and his greatest writing. Love Romans. If I had to pick a favorite book of the New Testament, Romans, probably. And it's hard to pick. We know it's hard to pick, but absolutely, hands down, just, oh, theological genius. Moreover, within Romans itself, chapter 8 is arguably one of the most spectacular pieces of writing found in the entire New Testament, 100%. Its thrust is clear, but its detailed argument is complex, weaving several major biblical and theological themes throughout its line of thought. In this short book, it's not very long, Wright takes a deep dive into Romans 8, showing how it illuminates so much else that God reveals in Scripture: God the Father, Christ and the Spirit, Jesus' messiahship, cross, resurrection, and ascension, salvation, redemption, and adoption, suffering and glory, and holiness and hope. Wright shows how Romans 8 holds together covenant, apocalyptic justification, and being in Christ. It illuminates the gospel from the promises to Abraham through the visions of Revelation. I need to read it over again because I started it in paper, I finished it in audio, and there's just so much in it. Yeah, anyway, this was a really good book. So if you're looking for something, man, if you're looking for something that'll help you get through Romans, this is a really great resource. I was going to say, if you're looking for something weighty, it wasn't a hard read, but it was just like Romans 8 itself. You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. So anyway, Into the Heart of Romans, really good. Highly recommend. Yeah. So, okay. Are we still good? Nothing has come up on the chat, which is totally fine. I just want to make sure that I didn't like lose you all. You know, we've had internet connection issues before in the past. Okay. Recent purchases. We'll do recent purchases next. We're good? Okay, thank you, Cindy. I have not even cataloged these yet. I got these at half price. I had some time to kill earlier this week. Sometime last week, and found myself at the bookstore, as one does, and I perused the clearance shelves. So this is called The Coddling of the American Mind. I know nothing about this except that it was $3 and it looked interesting. The subtitle is How Good Intentions and Bad Ideas Are Setting Up a Generation for Failure by Greg Lukianoff, maybe, and Jonathan Haidt. I don't know how to pronounce their last names. I'm sorry. The Coddling of the American Mind. I haven't taken off the stickers, as you can see. I have to catalog these. Okay. Something has been going wrong on many college campuses in the last few years. This was written in or published in 2018. Okay, 2018. Something has been going wrong on many college campuses in the last few years. Speakers are shouted down. Yeah, that's right. Speakers are shouted down. Students and professors say they are walking on eggshells and afraid to speak honestly. Rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide are rising on campuses as well as nationally. How did this happen? First Amendment expert Greg L. and social psychologist Jonathan H. show how the new problems on campuses have their origins in three terrible ideas that have become increasingly woven into American childhood and education. Number one, These are great. Number 1, what doesn't kill you makes you weaker. Oh, what doesn't kill you makes you weaker. Sorry. What doesn't kill you makes you weaker. Always trust your feelings, and life is a battle between good people and evil people. Interesting. These three great untruths contradict basic psychological principles about well being and ancient wisdom from many cultures. Embracing these untruths and the resulting culture of safetyism interferes with young people's social, emotional, and intellectual development. It makes it harder for them to become autonomous adults who are able to navigate the bumpy road of life. The authors investigate the many social trends that have intersected to promote the spread of these untruths. They explore changes in childhood, such as the rise of fearful parenting, the decline of unsupervised child directed play, that's an important one, and the new world of social media that has engulfed teenagers in the last decade. They examine changes on campus, including the corporatization of universities and the emergence of new ideas about identity and justice. They situate the conflicts on campus within the context of America's rapidly rising political polarization and dysfunction. This is a book for anyone who is confused by what is happening on college campuses today, or has children, or is concerned about the growing inability of Americans to live, work, and cooperate across party lines. This was back in 2018. Think about all that has happened since. So it's not a really long book. It's 200 and some pages, 260 something pages. Yeah, something like that. Um, I'm interested. I'm interested. So, social psychology and First Amendment expert. Let's see. So you're okay. It has to be handwritten, and snail mail has no modern technology allowed challenge. Oh, and you can't, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like be an enabler, but can you this is back to Alma's project that she has um got on her docket. So you can't even like draft it technologically, like use a computer to draft it and then handwrite it. You have to do it all handwritten, like from start to finish. If so, I can see why that then adds to the challenge. Let's see. um, I am definitely interested in this one too. It's just there, I I've had a few conversations about some of the challenges that we face with children's development and behavior. It's a conversation we're having um, in our local church, because we want children to enjoy church and to feel welcome, but and also there are just challenges that even just like 10 years ago, I've been involved in children's ministries in one way or another for a long time, and ever since I was a teenager, and there's just some things we didn't have to deal with, or at least not at the level that we've had before. And I don't know if this is everybody else's experience, and just seeing how things have changed, and things that we didn't have to do now we have to do. And even when I was working in the daycare system for a hot second, 6 years ago, the lady who owned the daycare, she was saying that, and she had been owned daycares for a while, and she was like, it is not like it used to be. These kids are different. So anyway, lots around that conversation. Okay, let's move on to fiction. Okay, so this is a recent purchase. I found this also at um, Half Price Books. This is called Pilot's Wife by Antoinette May, a novel of the Roman Empire. Pilot's Wife. Okay, a breathtaking novel set in the world of political intrigue, passionate rivalries, cold blooded assassinations, and unparalleled social upheaval. A provocative new spin on the greatest story ever told. A daughter of privilege in the most powerful empire the world has ever known, Claudia has a unique and disturbing gift. Her dreams have an uncanny way of coming true. As a rebellious child, seated beside the tyrannical Roman Emperor Tiberius, she first spies the powerful gladiator who will ultimately be her one true passion. Yet it is the ambitious magistrate Pontius Pilate who intrigues the impressionable young woman she becomes. And Claudia finds her way into his arms by means of a mysterious of by way of a mysterious ancient magic. Pilate is her grand destiny, leading her to Judea and plunging her into a seething cauldron of open rebellion. But following her friend Miriam of Magdala's confession of her ecstatic love for a charismatic religious radical, Claudia begins to experience terrifying visions, horrific premonitions of war, injustice, untold devastation, and damnation, and the crucifixion of a divine martyr whom she must do everything in her power to save. Interesting. So, I really love when historical fiction writers take a line from history or a little bit of history and then they like concoct a whole story around it. So, this is Pilate's wife in the Gospels who said, "Don't mess with that man. Do not mess with that man. We'll let him go." And here we have a novel with a backdrop. So this looks really interesting. We shall see. This is not written by, or it's not published by a Christian publisher necessarily, HarperCollins. So this is not necessarily Christian historical fiction. So I don't know what that means in terms of how it's going to be written. There is a section in the back, the history behind the story, conversation with the writer. So anyway, we'll see. It looks really good. It is really amazing how they do it. I would not have wanted to be in her shoes either. There's another book that I will recommend at some point when I have a copy. I've only ever listened to it on audio, but I want a physical copy and I will recommend it. It's another one. Okay, last two. I don't know if I've talked about these before, but Cindy was asking for light rom-com. I think this counts as light rom-com. We may have talked about it before. I still have not read it yet, but this is Waiting for Tom Hanks by Kerry Winfrey. Let's see. A rom-com obsessed romantic waiting for her perfect leading man learns that life doesn't always go according to the script in this delightfully charming and funny novel. Annie Cassidy dreams of being the next Nora Ephron. She spends her days writing screenplays, rewatching Sleepless in Seattle, and waiting for her movie-perfect meet cute. If she could just find her own Tom Hanks, a man who is sweet, sensitive, and possibly owns a houseboat, her problems would disappear and her life would be perfect. But Tom Hanks is nowhere in sight. Then a movie starts filming in her neighborhood and Annie gets a job on set. It seems like a sign. Oh, sorry. When, not then. You don't have it on your list? Yay! Okay. When a movie starts filming in her neighborhood and Annie gets a job on set, it seems like a sign. Then Annie meets lead actor Drew Danforth, a cocky prankster who couldn't be less like Tom Hanks if he tried. Their meet cute is more of a meet fail, but soon Annie finds herself sharing some classic rom-com moments with Drew. Her Tom Hanks can't be an actor who's leaving town in a matter of days. Can he? So, this one seems really cute. I've seen it a few times on Bookstagram or Book Talk, Bookstagram. And people seem to like it. So, I'm glad I was able to find a copy. I forgot where I got it. But anyway. And then last but not least, because I mentioned Jo March, have we talked about Jo and Laurie? Okay, so for those of you who know Little Women, you know that Jo and Laurie do not end up together. And I have mixed feelings about that. We haven't talked about this? Okay. This is a retelling. Okay. And I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I picked it up a while ago. I haven't read it yet. I need to read it. It needs to go on my fall TBR, which I've already written, but I need to add this, I think. Okay, so it's a retelling of Jo and Laurie. from Little Women. 1869, Concord, Massachusetts. After the publication of her first novel, Jo March is shocked to discover her book of scribbles has become a bestseller, and her publisher and fans demand a sequel. While pressured into coming up with a story, she goes to New York with her dear friend Laurie for a week of inspiration, museums, operas, and even a once-in-a-lifetime reading by Charles Dickens himself. But Laurie has romance on his mind, and despite her growing feelings, Jo's desire to remain independent leads her to turn down his heartfelt marriage proposal. I'm feeling it all over again. And she sends the poor boy off to college heartbroken. When Laurie returns to Concord with a sophisticated new girlfriend, will Jo finally communicate her heart's true desire, or will she lose the love of her life forever? Okay, one of the endorsements says, a romantic and amusing reimagining of Little Women, sure to delight generations of readers who longed for a different ending to the relationship between Jo March and her boy next door, Laurie. So I don't know how you all feel. If you're a Little Women fan, if you feel like Jo and Laurie ought to have ended up together, I do and I don't. I do because it's Jo and Laurie. I don't, but the reason why I hesitate is because I just am not a huge Professor Bear fan. So, like, could she not have ended up with Laurie, but like ended up with somebody besides Professor Bear? Like, that's kind of how I feel. I'm not sure though. There are very strong feelings around this. I don't know what you all think, if this is even in your wheelhouse. But here's a retelling of Little Women, and I have not brought myself to read it yet. I should though. I really should. Yeah. Anyway, there we have it. So, Into the Heart of Romans by N.T. The spectrum of this list is great. Into the Heart of Romans by N.T. Wright. The Coddling of the American Mind by authors whose names I can't pronounce very well. The Pilot's Wife by Antoinette May. Sorry, I'm not in focus here. Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. And Jo and Laurie by, Margaret Stahl and Melissa De La Cruz. So, those are our recs for today. If you pull anyone off that list and read one, let me know what you think, because you will probably get to it before I do. Okay, let us do... Okay, I'm so sorry. So Cindy K said, I have not read Little Women. I've watched the movie. First of all, no judgment at all. And then when I was first reading the sentence, I was like, oh no, I just let incredible spoilers out of the bag. I apologize. It's such an old book and such an old movie that I don't think about spoiling it for people. Which movie did you watch though? Which one? Because there are multiple adaptations, and people feel very strongly about those too. There was one that was, there's a Liz Taylor one. She plays Amy. It's Liz Taylor and June Allison and Peter Lawford. I had them on VHS when I was a kid. That was one of my favorites. There's also one that was done in black and white. I think it's Katharine Hepburn. There's a Katharine Hepburn version. She plays Jo. Yeah. So there's Katharine Hepburn version, a June Allison version with Liz Taylor. Then there's the one from 1994 with Winona Ryder and Susan Sarandon and Christian Bale. That's the one I grew up with. That's the one I watched first. And then there's the most recent one with Timothée Chalamet and I cannot think of her name. Other people whose names are not coming to mind. That one. That you mean the latest one? That one. Which that one? The latest one, or the 1994 one? Winona Ryder. Okay, that's classic. That is classic. That's my favorite one. That is my favorite one. However, the one with Timothée Chalamet and other people who, for whatever reason, I cannot remember at the moment, that they did pretty good with that one. They did some fun stuff with the ending, but they didn't. That was well done. I think it was well done. That came out in 2020, I think. So yeah. All right. Challenges. Challenges. And no shame on not having read the book. It is a big book. Oh, this one's kind of nice. I like that one. That one might be nice. Okay. I'm going to do this one. Okay. I have Emma Watson. I knew, yes, and Laura Dern. Yep, thank you. Laura Dern plays Marmee. Emma Watson plays Meg. Timothée Chalamet, of course, plays Laurie. Okay. Here are a couple of challenges. Who has been influential in your faith life over the years? How have they shaped it? Write down a few thoughts. This could be a journal entry that you do. Who has been influential in your faith life over the years? How have they shaped it? Write down a few thoughts. Okay, plan to celebrate the end of the week by closing it out in worship. Make a fun meal, eat dessert, turn on worship music, and recognize God's provision. That one's kind of nice. I haven't seen this one before. Or I have and I've forgotten about it. And then lastly, from the cards, crack open your current book or favorite magazine for 10 minutes during lunch. I have mentioned this one before. I am going to do that. I want to do that every day. It could be lunch, it could be breakfast, whatever works best for you. Crack open your favorite book or favorite magazine, your current book or favorite magazine. I'm going to write that down before I forget. Because I do have a TBR for the fall and I need to actually read. I didn't even notice that she spelled Winona with a Y because I think my brain either autocorrected or recognized that Winona is also spelled with a Y sometimes, like the other Winona. Okay, current read during lunch. And by that I meant like, isn't Winona Judd spelled with a Y? That's who I meant by that, sorry. No context. During lunch, okay. Okie dokie. All right, and then I will add another challenge, and this is something I'm planning to do. I've thought about it and I haven't written it down. I'm going to be going through my kitchen. We did this a little bit. I cannot spell, you all. There we go. We did this a little bit the other day, where we needed to drop something off at Goodwill. And so I went through one of my cabinets and pulled a bunch of stuff from the cabinets to also take to the Goodwill. And I want to do that with a couple of other cabinets. And yeah. And I've got like old like tea and supplements and things, and one of my cabinets is just taking up space and most of it's probably outdated and I just need to get rid of it. So we are purging some kitchen cabinets, at least one. If I can just get the one completed, then I'll be fine. So kitchen cabinet purge. If that's something you need to do, then maybe add it to your list too. That's my last challenge. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is it. I hope you have a wonderful week and a fabulous Monday. We'll be back here, same time, same place. Lord willing, next week. I'm so sorry. This is what happens when I drink water and talk. We are at the top of the hour. We're going to have a quick prayer and I will let you all go. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you need me, you know where to find me. Some things are coming out in Club 119 this week that I'm very excited about. So stay tuned. And yeah, I think that's all. Let's pray and I will let you all go. Dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this opportunity to spend a few minutes together at the start of another week. We're so grateful for another day of life. We're grateful for all of the responsibilities and work and things that we have to take care of just to make just to keep our worlds spinning and keep everything moving along. We know that it's going to be challenging. We know that there are going to be struggles. We know that there are going to be frustrations and some anxiety, perhaps. But you've seen before us. You've seen everything that is before us. You've seen ahead of us. Is what I'm trying to say. You've seen ahead, and you know everything that is coming our way. And we're just asking that you fill us with your peace, give us wisdom. Continue, Lord, to please give us grace for when we stumble and fall. We're so grateful for all of the gifts that you give to us, for giving us the gift of the Holy Spirit, who can indwell within us and who can bear fruit in our lives. So we're asking for love and patience and kindness and peace and gentleness and self control and the ones that I may have missed. I ask that you would continue to grow and develop us to be more like you, so that when people encounter us, when they see us, when they engage with us, they will see children of the King. I ask that you would be with all of the families represented here on this call and those who may be watching the replay, that you would be with each household, each family circumstance, each challenge. And I also ask that you would please guide and protect, and that you would just continue as you always have to be faithful. We're so grateful for everything you do for us. And for everything I may have forgotten, Lord, please fill in the gaps. I ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, you guys, thanks so much. Have a great morning and a great Monday, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.